Miss Luna, activist, teacher here, and I'm actually at the airport. It's really scary. There's a lot of people not in masks. But I am seeing some great books that I'm planning on buying to read while I'm on the flight. I'm really looking forward to this one called His Name is George Floyd, the story of George Floyd. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it has wonderful tales of drug addiction and threatening pregnant women. And then I'm also really looking forward to reading the book about the vaccine, how the shot saved the world. Really looking forward to that one. And definitely going to read this one. I actually read this like 3 times, but I'm going to read it again. How to Raise an Anti-Racist. Really great book about racism. And then, of course, I won't be reading this one. It's by a black white supremacist. Definitely not that one. Oh.
Okay, let's chop it up. Let's definitely chop it up. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is this woman. She's broken. She's fucked up. Something wrong with her. Can I curse on YouTube? We'll find out. She's broken. She's fucked up. Curse twice. 2 strikes. She makes a lot of video content where she hates on brown folks. She really hates brown folks. She does not like brown folks. She probably despises her brown skin. She's like one of them sketches on like Comedy Central where like I hate black. I hate the black on Forrest Whitaker's neck. like that's how I feel she wakes up in the morning. She's not a fan of brown folks. She's in this video. She's ironically wearing a Black Lives Matter face covering, not a face mask. It's not a mask. It doesn't prevent bacteria. It's so she's wearing a Black Lives Matter face covering, and she's doing it ironically because she hates Black Lives Matter. And in this skit, she's pretending to be like a liberal, or what the right perceives like a liberal to be. And she's in an airport. So the first thing she does is she hates on black people. She picks up a book about George Floyd. We all know who George Floyd is now. Sadly, we know who he was. We don't know who he is now. He's dead. He got murdered by Derek Chauvin and a couple other racist cops. And he got murdered on camera. Several different cameras were watching. Dozens of people were screaming, "You're killing him, stop, you're killing him." And the world saw, and it caused outrage, sparked outrage, and worldwide demonstrations and protests. Literally the world was upset. People were in other countries fucking rioting over how the American judicial system was about to treat these white cops and the one Asian cop. I don't want to get off into a tangent. I feel like I just did a little bit. That's George Floyd. Murder victim from the American justice penal system. Like that's George Floyd. So she picks up a book about George Floyd and ironically says that this is going to be a good read on the plane. She's not going to read a book about a black person. Come on, she's fucking broken. She would never do that unless she got paid to read a book, and then she would do it like begrudgingly. So she talks about how this book's probably going to be a good read and how it's going to be about drug addicted people and womanizers. And that's her view of George Floyd, the slain man who was murdered unjustly for the world to see. That's her opinion of him. I mean, everyone knows he was murdered, and he's not bad for getting murdered. The cops are bad, but her immediate take is black guy got murdered, fuck that guy. I'm gonna make fun of him. She's defaming his memory. I mean, I feel like the family of him could go, and maybe or not, I don't know. Lawsuits are not my thing, but so then she picks up a book about about the pandemic, another right-wing trope. She's talking about how like her she's not talking about it, but she's insinuating how like, you know, pandemic's not real. This is going to be a good read. MAGA, that kind of bullshit. you know. And then she picks up a book about how to teach your kids to be an anti-racist, which I didn't know was a thing. I did read Abram X. Hindy's book a while back. When it came out, I bought it. Like, I was one of the first to get it. I don't know if I was one of the first, but I fucking bought that shit on Amazon when I heard he went on like one of the talk shows I watch, and then I was like, man, I'm getting your book. You're black. You got stuff to say, and I want to support you. So I read his book, and I didn't know that there was a second edition on how to raise your children to be anti-racist. But apparently there is. So she picks up that book and she scoffs. She scoffs at it like she scoffs at the other two books. And then, ironically, she picks up another book, Ben fucking Carson. Ben Carson. Does anybody remember this guy? He was in the Donald Trump administration. He was supposedly a brain surgeon. And if you hear how he talks, he sounds like he was dropped repeatedly on his head as a child. He doesn't sound like, I don't like hating on black people, but like Ben Carson was not with the shits, as one of my favorite podcasters says. He was not with the shits. He was a pile of shit. And him and Betsy DeVos and other crappy members of the Trump administration got put into positions where they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. You know, what was he, the housing? Was he the educator? I forget what his unofficial title was, but he didn't do anything. It was a show. It was like a show designation. They just put you here, and then whenever someone has a question about what's going on in the housing or urban development and this and that, you get on stage. Like, they didn't even do press briefings. Like, I don't think Ben Carson did more than 3. Once they changed that initial bitch to the fat bitch, and then the fat bitch left, and then there was another. Let me stop. I'm saying bitch way too much. I don't mean that as a gender pejorative, just a general pejorative. I call dudes bitches. I know a lot of dudes who are bitches. So, anyway, I don't know what's wrong with this lady. I just know that she's broken. She gets on the internet and does all this stuff, and she hates on black people. Like, that's what she does. That's her job. I'm going to hate on black people. And I feel like I should address this. I kind of want to address each and every one of her videos. Because I'm that petty, and it's petty o'clock. I mean, it's time. She plays the victim card. She gets on the internet, hates on black people, and then plays the victim card. And I think she's a despicable, horrible human being. I don't know if she's a human. She could fucking be a demon. I don't fucking know what the fuck this bitch is. But she's a horrible person. She's a horrible entity. And I'm going to talk shit about each and every one of her videos. So with that, thanks again for checking out my channel. If you like, please share, subscribe, follow, and tell a friend. And I don't think I'm allowed to say follow. But if you'd like, please click that bell for the thingies. I don't know if I'm allowed to say notifications, and share, and click the bell. I think that's what I'm allowed to say on YouTube, lest I get demonetized before I even make money. Thanks again for checking out my channel. God bless. I'll see you in the next one.